Hello everyone, this is Melissa with Enchanted Emerald bringing you your monthly reading for Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising for February 2022. As always, as we get started here, I use the traditional Rider-Waite deck. That is my go-to deck. If you haven't yet subscribed to my YouTube, please do not hesitate to do so that you're in the know of all of the amazing content as it is released and you never miss a beat. Okay, so stepping into your energy here, Virgo, for the beginning of the month, February, the 1st through the 5th, we have several cards actually came out. Your energy is pretty loose. I love it. The cards were rolling right now. So we have the 2 of Cups accompanied with the 3 of Wands and rounding it out with the 9 of Wands, and then overarching all of that energy, of course, we had the 4 of Cups, feeling a little bit maybe disillusioned with things that are going on around you, kind of focused on what's happening in front of you, or what it is that you're wanting and not really seeing what's happening and showing up for you in your peripheral, right? Divine is showing a beautiful opportunity for you and you're kind of missing that because you're kind of on guard about what's really happening. You got your arms crossed there. So what I'm really feeling, I do feel as though this energy this month for you comes in with a little bit of a love-hate relationship, in terms of an actual relationship, a love-hate relationship in terms of how your life is going and flowing for you because you're wanting certain things and maybe you're frustrated that they're not showing up for you. I think ultimately here, I feel like you're seeking to infuse your life with a lot more love, a lot more fun-loving energy, and just life in general, vibrant energy, joy, right? You're seeking to add all of those things into your home, into your relationships, into your daily life. And so I feel like you might be sitting in that space where because maybe you feel like time constraints and things like that happening, you're feeling like, you're unable to do those things. You're sitting in a space of scarcity or a space of lack, right? And so you might be focusing on what's going on instead of what is, what's not going right instead of what is actually going right? So we need to flip that script a little bit. We need you to start focusing on things that you are grateful for, things that are going really well for you, and that's going to help to invite in some more joy, right? And bring in some more of those opportunities and experiences that you're really hoping to have. And so, I feel like you could be exhausted. I feel like you could feel like, gosh, I'm putting in so much effort and just not getting a reward or not getting a payout in terms of what you're wanting, what you're longing for, your desires, right? And so the idea here is that victory is on the other side of this. It's about maintaining your focus and making sure that you're shifting your focus when you get into a space where you're feeling a little bit down and out, or focusing on some of the things that we get caught up in this little bit of our mind loop, right? And really shifting our focus. It's about the pursuit of happiness, right? So that pursuit is really where you have to be shifting your focus, right? Shifting your perspectives and maintaining that, because that's really going to help you to build your strength and your faith to carry you through some of those tough times, right? And I think that there's a reminder here as well that, we really can't compare ourselves to other people. When we start to compare, how well so-and-so's life is going compared to ours, or what's happening for them and it's not happening for us, understand that everybody is on their own path. Everybody's on their own journey. They're learning their own life lessons, right? They have things going for them and they have their own struggles that they're dealing with as well. So you, especially, if you're looking at things on Facebook, you don't always see some of the struggles that they are going through. And so it's important to be mindful of that it could be something that they're dealing with privately. So don't think that you're the only one going through some of these things, right? And, I feel like, too, that there's a little bit of a reminder here for you, Virgo, in terms of understanding that, everybody experiences love differently, right? So because they experience love differently, they might also express love differently. And so if you are looking to get that output from your partner within a relationship, and it's not coming in the way that you'd hoped or in the way that it would, you want it to look like, just be mindful of that and think about, the things that they're working through, and, the background that they have come from, and what they have learned, and what they've gone through, and, that's something that needs to be worked on, right? Maybe. And so, there's things that we can't control throughout all of this, right? But there, with that Two of Cups, I know that you're hoping for that equal give and take, and not to be putting in so much effort and energy. So, I think the overall advice is, if you're not getting what you'd hoped out of a relationship, maybe the key would be to take a quick step back, right? If you are putting in so much effort and energy into that, and trying to infuse all of the life and all of that into the relationship to make it work, maybe the key is to step back. And if that person isn't stepping forward and isn't also in turn helping, then maybe that's, if you've had conversations, you've been trying for a while, maybe it would be a time to maybe think about making a change. But that's something that you might have to think about. So moving into the 6th through the 12th, we have the Empress with, this is beautiful, love, 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 the Empress card, okay? Very earthly energy, right? Especially for you here, Virgo. Fertile, like abundant ideas, energy flowing, love it, right? It comes in with the Fool, so new beginnings, right? Kind of haphazard a little bit, that Fool comes in, right? Not necessarily always thinking things through, but wanting to act on new ideas, right? Begin new things. Comes in with the Hierophant, tradition. And the World, bringing in full circle change. And the Hermit, there you are showing up in your own reading there, Virgo. So, with the Hermit. I feel like with this, there's a tendency this week for you to maybe be reflecting on the paradise that you had hoped to build, right? Like this paradise city, this empire that you were building, that maybe is now lost even, right? And maybe it's deeply rooted in the fact, that you are getting a lot of expectations projected onto you by others, people around you, surrounding you. Again, with that Hierophant, it's deeply rooted in tradition. There's expectations maybe from society, but it's deeply rooted in tradition. So you were building this empire, building this paradise around those traditions, those expectations, right? And now maybe it's kind of like falling away, and it's giving you a little bit of a fear, like oh my gosh, what's going to happen now type of feeling, right? But the essence that comes in with this is that maybe you're dodging a bullet, right? Maybe, I feel like I'm hearing this Mary J. Blige, not gonna cry no more, right? Like, maybe you've done grieved this a long time ago, and you actually haven't had it catch up with you in the physical. So maybe you've grieved this on an emotional level, it's going to end. Maybe you knew it ended a long time ago, and you actually haven't made the changes within your physical space, and now it's time to catch up with you in the physical and bring it down into your physical reality, right? And so, I feel like there could be some quick decisions being made about things. I feel like there could be bold moves being taken, and I feel as though, you can never really go wrong, and this is where you have to take a step back and really start to honor your own truth and what is true for you and what you feel is true for you and what you know to be true for you. It is that inner truth, right? And know that, and I love this so much when it came through too, know that voice within you, the voice of your heart, the voice of your intuition, of your higher self, of spirit, universe, God, whatever you call that voice within you, that calling, right, that pull, the voice of your heart will never be any, leading you into any spaces that you are not able to handle. You will always be supported, right? And it will never lead you astray from what is meant for you, right? In other words, if there's opportunities that are meant for you and you follow this pull to go into this certain direction, you're not going to miss an opportunity, right? It will always come back to you. If there was something that was meant for you and you make a different decision than was anticipated, the opportunity will always come back full circle, right? And so, I feel like the voice of your heart is always going to be wiser than any person, any man, right? Like, not man, like male, but like any male or female, like human, right? Like, so your voice of your heart is going to be wiser than any human words can offer you, right? Your own intuition is going to be stronger. Your own intuition is going to lead you down the path that is right for you and is best for you. And so I really, really love that. Now, I get this whole like eat, pray, love type feeling around that. Now, if you've never watched the movie or read the book, and I would recommend that you do that. That's gotten me through some things in my life, right, where I felt like totally as though I had no idea what I was doing in my life, and I watched that and I felt like that character in that movie. And so I feel like sometimes we do have to kind of take a step back and retrace our lives a little bit. Now, the book that is being brought up from Spirit for you, Virgo, and I've never read this book, but I did now write it down to get to read. It's called I Am an Island. I actually had to look this up, and it's by, forgive me if I'm saying this wrong, Tamsin Kalidas, Tamsin, last name Calidas. Anyhow, it is a story about a woman who moves to this island with her husband, and she's happy for a little while, and then her marriage starts to kind of like wane, and she doesn't, have kids that she wants and things like that, and she feels very isolated, and it goes through this whole feeling of like this rebirth and this self-discovery and moving into this space of feeling totally healed through this whole process that she goes through and getting this resilience on the other side of that. And so that, again, that feels to me, that book and the energy that accompanied that and how Spirit was conveying that to me, feels to me a lot like what I went through when I was very compelled to watch Eat, Pray, Love and read that book, Eat, Pray, Love. And so, and what I was going through with my divorce at that time. So that's really what I'm feeling, what's accompanying this week for you, Virgo. So I'm relaying that. Now, again, honor your truth, honor your path, right? And if you feel compelled to read that book, of course, do so. So beautiful, beautiful energy for that week. I know that it may not in the moment feel like beautiful energy. It can feel like confusion. It can feel like loss. But again, it does come in with this energy of like, gosh, in retrospect, any loss that's coming in with this, I do feel as though, that this is some sort of a protection for you as well, right? Like a rejection is God's protection type around that, with that dodged a bullet phrase coming through. So moving into the 13th through the 19th, we have the Strength card, beautiful card, with the Star card. So lots of healing, getting through this, being strong. Coming in with the Five of Wands, feeling a little bit of turmoil, emotional turmoil, conflict inside, right? Now, I feel as though that Five of Wands, when that popped out, Spirit immediately said like tempers flare. So I feel as though maybe you kind of sugarcoat things. Maybe you don't say what you want to say or when you need to say it because you're kind of worried about how the other person might perceive that. And so, I feel like you don't always speak your truth, or maybe it's like a half-hearted truth. And so, there's a feeling here around this of like, listen, you can't take shortcuts when it comes to expressing yourself. You can't take shortcuts in terms of being your whole self and your authentic self, right? Because that's not doing yourself any good. You're burying some feelings, and in the end, you might have some sort of resentment, right? Which I'm going to get to. But I feel like this other person could be feeling as though if you start to express yourself in any way, this other person might be tempted to be grasping at straws, right? In terms of finding similar interests, right? And kind of pointing out all of these things that you guys might have in common. And so, I feel like in terms of like, not just like similar interests, right? Like where you have common ground, like maybe in your routines and what's working well, right? Bringing up those things. And maybe in ideology, like what beliefs and morals and values you guys share. And so, I feel like on the other side of this, though, maintaining your ground and maintaining your stance and really speaking your truth regardless of what the outcome is and regardless of how this person. Now, you are not responsible for this other person's feelings, right? You are only responsible for your own happiness. So don't sacrifice your happiness by not expressing your truth, right? So say it, say what you need to say. And, again, that's going to be reiterated at the end of the reading. Say what you need to say. So I feel like, however this comes out, I feel like, there's this whole, like, feeling of, like, looking back on it. I feel like you're going to be in a state of reflection in the future, looking back on it. Maybe even telling a story to maybe your grandchildren or something. And I'm getting chills with this, too. Validation for sure. This is definitely someone's message. Telling your grandchildren about this story and how you overcame this. And so, like, really keeping the faith, keep on keeping on. Like, I really feel like you're going to be talking about how you face this. It's almost like you're facing your demon. And in this person has nothing to do with it. It's mostly about overcoming your own inner dialogues, right? Like your own stories that you keep telling yourself, your own fears, your own insecurities, right? Your own issues with things that you've needed to work on, right? So it's like this big monster that lives inside of you, and through you expressing your truth to this person, you're like slaying that demon within. You're like standing up to this person. It is so much more than you just telling your truth and speaking your truth to this person. This is about you. Oh, big chills. This is about you really letting go of those fears and those doubts and insecurities and things that are just like this dark cloud that's like looming over your head. So really big energy overcoming this. And it's a big week for you, Virgo. So moving into the 20th through the 28th, we have the Page of Swords. And this one is accompanied with the Six of Cups. So like innocent, reminiscing type energy, right? With the Two of Swords, making a decision, right? King of Swords, cutting things out. And Six of Swords, really navigating that emotional turmoil to the calm, still waters, right? And that's of your mind mostly, right? And so I feel like with this, there's going to be drastic shifts happening, okay? And this is not just in your external world, this is happening within you as well. So in your emotional being and in your mind, right? Your mental state. And I feel like there's a reminder here for you that things might seem really chaotic, but there's no need to be overly dramatic this week, okay? So, again, there will be some compelling arguments with this Page of Swords. There will be some compelling arguments made, both probably for you and against you, right? For the relationship or for the job or for the situation, however that resonates for you, and then also against it, for you to leave, for you to not stay, right? And so that could be you kind of going through this like mental space where you're trying to wrap your head around things and categorize things into like a pros and cons list. Something like that even. So this could be you talking things out with a good friend, and really trying to come up with a game plan for yourself. But I get this feeling like there's this, like, well, I tried, right? I feel like you maybe have been seeking this like holy grail, and when spirit brings up holy grail, it means different things to different people, but the holy grail is ultimately like what you've wanted so badly, what you've wanted to like always achieve, right? And so, I feel like you've constantly been looking externally to achieve this goal, right? And again, is that motivated, like at an intrinsic level? Are you motivated within for that? Or are you motivated extrinsically from like external factors, right? So you have to kind of look at, like, am I wanting this really badly and wanting to make this work because I'm trying to quell my doubts and insecurities and that demon inside, but now you've slayed it, so there's still no reason for that? Or is it, because I'm getting peer pressure, or I'm getting pressure from family, right? Because sometimes you have to understand that, like, especially if you're listening to something like this, you're probably one of the black sheep in your family, and you're there to make waves. You're there to show that you can be bold and you can make bold moves and you can be different, and things will still work out for you. And so it's okay to set a new trend within things, and spirit will come in to support you in that. So, I feel like, there's this whole feeling that surrounds this where you feel like you're doing something wrong, or maybe somebody's projecting the energy onto you that like you're doing something wrong, or maybe you felt as though this other party within this relationship, or within this job or something, your boss maybe was doing something wrong. But there's no evidence proving that. There's nothing that's going to show up to show that that's actually happening, right? There has to be something where you're making that choice to say, no, that's not happening, and I'm choosing, right? You're making that choice. I'm choosing to let go. I'm choosing to walk away. I'm taking my power back, right? And so that's when you start to calm the waters, right? When you're choosing to take your power back, you're taking control over those doubts and insecurities within as well. And so that's where you have to overcome those swords that you're carrying with you on that boat. Those are your thoughts, right? That's that negative loop, that ego story. Do you believe it or don't you? Are you going to challenge those thoughts? Is it true? How do you know that it's true? Is there any evidence supporting it? These are things where you have to become like a philosopher within your life and start to come up with your own story, your own new narrative. And does that fit the bill for you? Is it working for you? How's it working? And if not, then change it up. Start using different affirmations like, I am eternally protected. I am abundant on all levels. Start using some of those things so that you're feeling, even something simple for the root chakra. I am safe, right? To start that. I am confident for your solar plexus, right? To help you move through some of this energy and overcome that. So you are the master of your emotions. This is really where those calm, still waters kind of come in. When you start to overcome that, you realize that the Holy Grail is not a place, right? It's not a place that it's not a goal that you're going to achieve externally, right? It's not a place. It's not a relationship. In fact, it's probably not even any sort of physical goal. You'll realize that the Holy Grail is really becoming master of your emotions, co-authoring your life here with the universe, and using your power and your abilities within God's source to do that, right? So beautiful energy. And then overall advice here for you, Virgo, is 3 of Swords accompanied with 10 of Pentacles. So now, both of these coming out together, you can see that they're opposite. Three of Swords, pretty disappointed energy. Ten of Pentacles is like, ah, like I have won the lottery, right? So when we talk about Pentacles in terms of our emotions here, I want you to think about self-worth, okay? So there could be disappointments and, things like that. And then we want to talk about your self-worth. Now, I feel like this is just really attesting to the fact that to work through things, there will be good and there will be bad. There will be things that you have to work through that are going to not be so pleasant. And there will be things that you will go through that will feel like on the other side of this, I did that and I was able to do that and I feel great. I feel so much more confident that I can go through hard things and come out and feel stronger, right? Now, I think that, it's really important, again, to say what you need to say and not to talk around certain issues. And I think that this is attesting, the overall advice is just kind of attesting to the fact that you have guaranteed rights as a being of love and light and a child of God, right? You have this ability to speak what's on your mind, right? You have the ability to be authentic to who you are and your sovereignty, right? And you can speak up and state what your needs are. And if your needs aren't being met, it's okay to walk away, right? And there's a method to the madness in allowing only certain things, right? And creating boundaries. And if your boundaries aren't honored, then being selective about who you are allowing in your space or what you are allowing, right? And if you aren't being honored or respected, it's okay to say, that is it. Enough is enough, right? And so you don't want to be on the other side of that, harboring resentment because you simply just did not honor your boundaries. You did not honor your truth, right? You can't blame somebody for not honoring you or respecting you when you have allowed it, right? So don't be a victim and don't blame anybody. Don't allow yourself to sit into a space where you're just harboring resentment toward this person. Take your power back from that situation. Now, I feel like overall, the Three of Swords and the Ten of Pentacles is going to be taking you into a space where you are a lot more secure in expressing yourself and a lot more confident, because you're going to have to do that throughout this month probably. So I think the more you do that, the more confident you'll become, the more practice that you get at that, the easier it will be. When you first do those things, it's going to feel uncomfortable. Saying no is going to feel uncomfortable. But when you do that more often, it will become easy because you are putting yourself first. And you have to. You have to be able to fill your own cup up and show others how to love and respect you in the way that you need to be loved and respected if you expect a healthy relationship that nurtures you and breathes that life into you, that you're hoping that joy brings that fun, loving, light energy in. Otherwise, it's just going to feel heavy. So, beautiful read here for you, Virgo. Again, not all general readings can resonate for everybody. So if you're interested in your own personal reading, I'd love to be able to do that for you. You can hit me up at that square site in the description box below, or on YouTube and in the messenger for Enchanted Emerald. Also, you can email me at enchantedemeraldny@gmail.com. As always, I will be back with another read for you guys again soon. If you're interested and feel called to share this reading with another Virgo that is near and dear to your heart, I'd love for you to do that, because it helps me to spread the messages to those that can benefit from hearing the message. And I hope everybody has a great day. Thank you so much for listening. Take care.